Hello everyone and welcome back to Fallout 76, where today we're going to do something new. We'll be doing our first One Wasteland Weapon Showdown. In these videos, I'll compare two different weapons that are suitable to a particular build and see how they hold up. Will one strongly outclass the other? Will one offer benefits that might provide new value for us in One Wasteland, where enemies hit harder and we hit, well, not harder? I'm planning on doing a lot of these, so I'll need to rearrange some character builds and level up some new ones to try different things. So expect to see things like Stealth Commando, Rifleman, Pistol, and Guerrilla weapons early on, but in the future I'll definitely cover heavy guns, shotguns, and melee weapons too. I've just got some grinding to do before I get there. A lot of things are different since patch 22, and it doesn't do us any good to lament the damage we may have lost. Instead, we're going to look at the way things have changed and how we can adapt. These videos, I hope, will be a big part of that. Before we get too far in, remember, if you like this video and my other content, be sure to go ahead and subscribe. We're well on our way to our first 1,000 subscribers, so thank you to those who've been around for a while, and welcome to everyone who plans on coming back for more. Alright, shameless but necessary self-promotion out of the way. Today we're going to compare two weapons, a Bloodied Handmade and a Vampire's Fixer, in the hands of a well-optimized, though probably not perfectly tuned, Bloodied Stealth Commando build. It's one of the most popular builds in Fallout 76, and one that I like so much I run it on multiple characters. Before patch 22, there was no comparison. Bloodied weapons did so much damage that using anything else just didn't make any sense. Add to that very few enemies posed any real threat, and it was just a waste of ammo to run anything else. Now, things are quite different, so let's see if a vampire's weapon might be a useful alternative. Before we run into a few combat hotspots and check things out, let's look at the weapons themselves so we have a complete picture. First up is the Bloodied Handmade. This one gives us an extra 33% VATS hit chance and extra perception, which is also going to aid in our VATS accuracy. As a heavy VATS user, that extra accuracy might make this weapon a bit more efficient than its competitor, but I think we'll still get the picture. I'm running both weapons with prime receivers, which gives us a little extra damage and a pretty solid boost against Scorched and Scorch Beasts. But more importantly, with the new Ammo Factory Legendary perk, and we'll be looking at those in a moment, it becomes so much more efficient to craft ultrasight ammo that I just couldn't resist making the switch. For the Vampire's Fixer, we've only got one extra legendary effect, 40% bashing damage, so for all intents and purposes, this is a 1-star weapon. Unlike heavy guns and shotguns, that effect isn't going to give us bugged magic damage on an automatic rifle. The Fixer, of course, also gives us two unique effects: improved stealth and faster movement speed when sneaking. The extra stealth buff is helpful, but with full unyielding armor, which I'm wearing for both weapons, it probably doesn't do all that much. The faster movement speed is a nice idea, but with the Speed Demon mutation, it doesn't actually seem to do anything. The Fixer is also primed and has the appropriate mods to help with range and accuracy. For the build, I'm running mostly what you would expect for a Bloodied Stealth Commando. Under Strength, I've got Bandolier to keep my ammo weight reduction down. Under Perception, I've got all the Commando cards. I have now switched my Concentrated Fire from 3 points to 1 point. With One Wasteland, they did nerf the 3rd rank of Concentrated Fire for automatic weapons, so as I discussed in my video on it, I thought that it was inconsistent. I just didn't expect them to change it that quickly, but they did, so it's no longer worthwhile to go with 3 points there. And instead, I opted to use 2 points in Tank Killer and 3 points in Ground Pounder. I may alternate that at some point, but for now I'm liking it. Under Endurance, I've got Radical for some extra strength, because I'm already high on rads anyway. I've got Revenant in case I get revived at an event. We're running solo today, so that's really not a factor. Lone Wanderer under Charisma for a little extra protection and some extra AP refresh. That's always good to have. Under Intelligence, we've got Nerd Rage to help with damage and damage resistance at low health, but this is where I probably differ from some other Bloodied Stealth Commando builds. I do run Scrapper and Gunsmith because, quite honestly, I just don't like fixing my stuff all the time. So I run those. I know I'm sacrificing a little bit of damage from criticals that I could use in luck, but honestly, I've been okay so far. I think we'll be all right. If I need to make a change in the future, I always can. Under Agility, right now I've got 3 in Action Boy, 3 in Covert Operative to max out our sneak critical bonuses, 3 in Sneak because every bit of stealth helps, 1 in Escape Artist so we can get out of trouble if we need to, and 5 in Adrenaline to boost things up as we go. I'm keeping Adrenaline on for these tests because that's how we're going to run. Realistically, that's what it's going to look like. I want to look at the practical differences between these weapons. So we want to take everything into account. The one thing I didn't put on here is Mr. Sandman. Normally, I run that. And normally I just keep it on all the time with only 1 point in Action Boy. But in this case, because I can't be sure that it's going to be nighttime versus daytime for the same amounts of time as we test, I thought it might make things a little more consistent if I just took that out. We can all just understand that under normal circumstances, running this type of build, you'd have that and you'll get a little extra help on the damage end with it. Under Luck, I've got Bloody Mess for more damage, Serendipity for better survivability at low health, Starched Jeans to keep my mutations, and I run 3 points in Class Freak. I like not having negatives to my mutations, but you know, some people don't like that. That's okay. To each their own. For me, this is working. I do have some people sometimes ask me why I don't run Dodgy under Agility, and the reason for that is I find that the best defense for a stealth commando is good offense. Kill your enemies before they hit you. In my case, I'm a heavy VATS user, so it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to use something for defense that's going to gobble up all my AP. So for me, Dodgy isn't a good solution, at least not for this build. Again, you may have a different opinion, and that's okay. For legendary perks, which are new with One Wasteland, I've got all 6 slots unlocked, starting with Ammo Factory. I know that a true min-max build might skip this one, but I don't care. I don't like grinding. I don't like fixing my stuff all the time, and I don't like grinding for ammo, so this one makes me happy. Next up is Follow Through, which is an interesting one. That makes our target take 40% more damage after a sneak attack when it's maxed out like mine is. This one is most helpful with really tanky enemies and bosses. Unfortunately, it's pretty inconsistent when it comes to how long it takes to actually process. Most enemies die in 1 to 3 bullets, so unless I go out of my way to let it trigger, it doesn't do a lot of good for general farming, but it's definitely important for big boss fights, so well worth it in the long run. I also have Master Infiltrator at rank 1 and have no intention of upgrading it. That's a lot of perk coins just to have things automatically unlock. I'm happy to just not need to swap cards around when I run a nuke silo, so 1 point works just fine. I also have Sizzling Style and Funky Duds, 2 unfortunately named but very useful perks for bloodied builds. They'll give me some fire and poison resistance, which should be helpful during Colossal Problem and when fighting Scorch Beasts. I'm experimenting with these a bit to see if they're really worth keeping on, so I haven't leveled them up. I might in the future, or I might swap them out for more legendary special points, particularly in Luck to get more VATS critical perks. Last is Legendary Endurance. The only reason I have this one is so I can run Revenant. This way, when I get revived at boss fights, I do extra damage. That's pretty helpful, but it doesn't really have an impact on what we're doing today. Now let's see how some of these weapons perform. For these tests, I've got kind of a circuit of locations lined up: the Deep, a Fissure site, the Behemoth at Solomon's Pond, Whitespring Golf Club, and Huntersville. I'll go through each one with each weapon so we can directly compare. I'll show all that combat for each location, but I will be editing out some of the hunting around just to keep things moving. Let's start at the Deep with the Vampire's Fixer. So when we first make our way into the location, we'll encounter some Liberators. With One Wasteland, they're higher level, so no more one-shotting Liberators, it appears. That's okay. And almost took him down in one shot. Just left a little sliver of health there. But That's all right. We're moving along, doing just fine. A little double tap on everything does the trick. Sometimes we see one on the catwalk here, another communist soldier, but doesn't appear to be the case today. Just make our way down the catwalk, take a view of the scary thing we don't want to fall into. There's always a missile sniper up there. Sometimes you can get a shot from here, sometimes you have to go up the stairs to get up there. Then usually a few soldiers running around outside. It is fairly common to find 1 or 2 legendaries here, so it's a nice quick little spot. Not a bad place to check. And then if we head around the back of the building, there's usually a commander in power armor back there. And then just make your way back towards the front, and there's usually 1 more soldier hanging out there. Then we can complete the loop around and go inside the building. There's always a couple of soldiers on the ground floor and those first stairway levels. Sometimes more than this, sometimes not. As we climb the stairs, we'll find a couple more. And now we can see with some adrenaline built up, the level 60s are going down nice and easy. Everybody else is going down in 2 shots, so our Vampire's Fixer at low health is still performing really, really well. And it gives us a little bit of security knowing that we're not going to die so easily. I've got 1 more I can't find here, so let's pop a Berry Mentats and just see if that helps us find our last target. Oh, right there. I'd call that pretty efficient. Let's see how we do with the Bloodied Handmade. All right, making our way across the same catwalk. Liberators are still taking a double tap to take down. Maybe that'll change with some adrenaline. Now that soldier went down in 1 shot this time instead of leaving that little sliver, so we're definitely getting a little more damage out of the Bloodied, no question about that, but by and large, not a huge difference in efficiency so far. And that is really what I'm interested in, is the practical difference. I know what the numbers say, and the numbers will always show that the Bloodied is better, but for general farming, does it really make a difference? We'll see. Make our way the rest of the way down and look for our sniper. 1 shot, 1 kill, very good, that's what we like. Got a couple more soldiers hanging out down here. Take care of business. And we're still seeing that even though it does more damage, for the most part, I still need to double tap those higher level enemies. Now our power armor guy, he went down in 2 shots and he took 3 with the vampires, so a little more efficiency there. There we got a 1 shot. Heading inside. We're still seeing pretty consistently, by and large, on these human targets with headshots, I still need to do a double tap. So on some of the harder targets, maybe we get a little more efficiency, but I don't see a huge difference so far. We'll do an actual bullet count at the end. I've been keeping track of all of that. Yeah, 2 shots there, so definitely for heavier targets, for armored targets, your Bloodied is better. No question about that. But Vampires gives us a little survivability. Maybe that's worth a bullet or 2. There we go. And that is the end of that. So comparing the 2, I would say that the Bloodied clearly does more damage. No question about that. But for this location at least, I don't feel like there was much of a practical difference between them. They both handled all of our enemies efficiently, and one of them happens to give us health regeneration. So if you feel like you've been struggling, maybe that's good for you. But we'll see. Let's check out some other spots. For our next test, I picked a Fissure site up north in the Savage Divide, And I picked this one because there aren't usually any other spawns here to mess with our sneak aggro, so we should just be able to take out some Scorched and a Scorch Beast and see what that looks like. Level 100 was a double tap. Another double tap. We are back with the Vampire's Fixer here, of course, so not bad. We're definitely got some distance there. That doesn't help with our accuracy, but we're going to build up Adrenaline nicely to take down the Scorch Beast. Unfortunately, the nerf to Concentrated Fire makes that a little harder than it ever was. I am wearing a Dense mod on my chest armor, so that protects me completely from the Scorch Beast scream attacks, which is super useful if you go Scorch Beast hunting. And there we go. Once we get him lined up, he's an easy takedown with the Vampire's Weapon. Now, the fact that it's primed is definitely a help here. Let's check out the Handmade. All right, making our way over to the Fissure. We'll do the same routine here. We'll pop some Scorched for Adrenaline and then take down their mother. And here, probably again some more one-shots. The level 100s are not one-shots, but they're pretty damn close. So that extra damage definitely gives us a little more efficiency. And we'll hunt down their mother here, and she went down really, really quick. So I think it helped that we maybe were a little closer to begin with. That VATS hit chance might have helped us a bit there too, so when we do a full ammo count at the end, that might be a little bit of an unfair advantage, but that's all right. We'll compare everything as a whole, finish clearing out the Scorched here. I think we've just got one left. And with all that Adrenaline, we are one-shotting the level 100 Scorched, so looking pretty good for the Bloodied Handmade for that stop. Next up, let's take our Vampire's Fixer and murder a super mutant Behemoth. He's just having a good old time taking a bath in a radioactive pond, and here we come to shoot him in the face. Alright, we'll give a little time for follow-through to proc. So 373 per shot. Goes down in about a half a mag. Not bad at all. Let's see how the Bloodied Handmade handles a Behemoth. And this should be where this weapon shines, a creature with a whole lot more health that we can take advantage of and really see the difference in damage, but let's see. And swing and a miss. Okay, so yeah, went down really quick. Definitely quicker than he did with the Vampire's Handmade, no question about that. Definitely the better weapon against big tanky enemies. Unless you have trouble staying alive when fighting those big tanky enemies, then you might like the Vampire's Weapon better. Moving right along to the Whitespring Golf Club. Hitting up some high-level ghouls. And once we've got a little bit of adrenaline cooking, we're one-shotting everything with headshots. Even with the Vampire's Weapon, so very, very good. My health is getting a little low there, so let's just readjust. And we're still doing really well there, and just skipped around some getting back under Nerd Rage. VATS is misbehaving with this guy. That's been a consistent issue since Wastelanders. I really hope they fix that soon, because it's very frustrating. Move along into the other room and take out some more ghouls. And we have a legendary, and it does feel to me like the legendaries seem to be tankier than before. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if maybe I'm just perceiving that. But that one definitely didn't go down quite as easy. Everybody else is going down in one shot. Make our way downstairs. Head on into the gift shop and take care of the disgruntled employees that are still working here. Couple more to find in the back. This is a pretty easy breezy run with the Vampire's Fixer. One shot on just about everything. Take out two more here and we'll either get a Wendigo or a glowing ghoul. There we go. Turn around. Give me that headshot. All right, 100 glowing one. Yeah, he took a few shots to take down. No problem, though. Clean up a little bit more of the mess outside. And I think we have a pretty good idea how this weapon worked against ghouls. Very, very efficient. One-shot kills on most headshots. Let's try the Bloodied. My guess is that this is going to be a pretty similar run with one-shot kills on everything. We had it on almost everything with the Vampire's weapon, and this one does more damage, so shouldn't be much of an issue. And so far, that's exactly what we're seeing. So if we're really, really stingy with ammo, then we're getting more VATS problems with that guy by the window. I wonder if it has something to do with the light, the way it comes through there. That would be an interesting thing to look at. Another legendary, and once again, tankier than the other similarly leveled enemies. That's an interesting little development. But so far, everything is nice and easy. We'll clear out the other room. One-shot kills all around. One-shot kills for everybody. I've got one bullet for you, and one bullet for you, and one bullet for you. It's like Oprah. Except instead of giving cars, we're giving away death. Alright, we'll make our way downstairs. There we go. Check out the gift shop. You don't work here anymore. Go away. You are selling useless things to people who will not buy them. We'll head to the back by the beverage stand. More one-shot kills, and we got another legendary. He went down in one shot. All right. So far, so good. Two stragglers by the reception desk. Head back to the locker room. We've got a glowing one again. And similar situation, much tankier than the other one, but went down with no problem. And here we've got to head into the shower room where we've got some rad roaches to deal with. Didn't have that on the other character, but that's all right. We'll head outside and take out any remaining trash. So far, so good. I feel like there's usually 3 or 4 out here, and I think I only see one more. Easy enough. Take a look around here. Yep, that's about it. So yeah, basically performance on par with the vampires. You can only do so much damage to an enemy, and they both performed extremely well. Alright, the last stop on our whistle-stop Appalachian murder tour is Huntersville. We'll start again with the Vampire's Fixer. And there's always a few floaters right near the fast travel point. If you fast travel in and run over there, you can stir them up. It's not uncommon to see a legendary there, so take advantage of that. We'll make our way up the road a bit. And 3 shots seems a bit excessive, but these are tankier enemies than we've faced so far. So we'll probably see a bit of a difference in performance here between the vampires and the Bloodied. And VATS is not being cooperative. Strongest super. And we can see there that follow-through proc, which is great. Head on into town. So yeah, if you wait a second between shots, you can get it to to trigger, but you can see there it's really quick shots. It just often doesn't trigger in time, which is a shame, but no big deal. Level 100, so 3 or 4 shots there. It was hard to keep track of them. Make our way into the house. And we can see we definitely need to put a few more bullets into these guys than some of the other things we've gone against. But the vampire's weapon is still holding up just fine, so if you're somebody that really values survivability, might not be a bad option. To get lined up into position for VATS. Since the nerf, we can't just, or the fix, I should say. We can't just keep holding the trigger till it gives us what we want. 2 more guys upstairs. Double taps all around, so the level 60s are pretty consistent double taps. 75s and 100s are 3 or 4. No, he went down in 2. Okay. We've got some adrenaline built up at this point. And one last super mutant down by the gate. By the north gate. Into position for concentrated fire, and there we go. So our 50s through 75s with a little bit of adrenaline are pretty solid 2-shot kills. Let's see how we do with the Bloodied. Alright, we'll take out our floaters and make our way up into town. This time we'll start with the guy up by the water tower. And 3 shots. Even with a little adrenaline from the floaters. So super mutants are definitely tankier in One Wasteland. And that damage reduction, we really notice it. There with follow through, we definitely got a 2-shot kill. Between follow through and a little adrenaline, we're going to double tap pretty much everything in here. Not unlike what we did with the Vampire's Fixer. But I think we'll see more 2-shot kills and fewer 3 shots. Head on into the hardware store. 2 shots again. And we needed a 3rd for the 100, but he was almost dead. Maybe if I was building some criticals or something there, it might have been a little better, but that's okay. We're doing just fine. All right. And one final home invasion here. We'll go upstairs. Take care of business here, and then we'll catch the last few super mutants on the road. I see you. And yeah, that looked like some kind of inconsistent damage there. And I have noticed that since One Wasteland. It's not just a matter of doing less damage, it's things don't always seem to calculate just right. Sometimes you get a wild flyer and you get really high damage, sometimes it's really low, but we'll work with it. Those inconsistencies have been fairly random across the board, so I don't think that really impacts too much of what we can assume on the weapon's performance. Level 60, should be 2 shots, yep. So we can see that that first shot is doing a lot more damage with the Bloodied, but we still need a 2nd shot to follow up, so there's not a huge practical difference between these weapons, at least for general farming. Now, at the beginning, I said that I'd give you bullet counts for both weapons, and here they are. The Fixer used 214 total rounds of ammo for the run, while the Bloodied Handmade only used 132. That is a much more significant difference than it felt like. That's showing the Bloodied Handmade is almost 40% more efficient, but for most of the enemies we faced, it didn't really feel like it took much more effort to kill any of them. I think we can chalk at least some of that up to the 33% boost to VATS accuracy on the Handmade. because it gave us fewer missed shots. But it does make sense that it would be at least a good bit more efficient. It does do a lot more damage. It just didn't feel that way in practice, but ultimately, numbers don't lie. The Bloodied Handmade is definitely more efficient in terms of damage and ammo usage. So what's my conclusion? What do I think of the two weapons? Which one would I use? Honestly, I'm using them both. For basic farming like we did here, where I know the spawn points and I'm in very little danger, it makes sense to use the higher damage weapon to conserve ammo. However, when I run events and daily ops, I'm using the vampire's weapon. In those scenarios where stealth is lacking, sneak bonuses are often lost, and things can get a bit more unpredictable, having a weapon that heals me with each shot is a huge help, and as we saw, it's not that much of a damage drop-off for most of the enemies we'll face. Before One Wasteland, the bloodied weapon would do exponentially more damage. It made all the sense in the world to use it almost all the time. Now, it's still stronger, but not so much stronger that it makes everything else irrelevant. Trading a little bit of damage for a lot of survivability, at least in certain scenarios, isn't a dumb thing to do. If you're someone who just struggles to stay alive out there, then you may find that vampires is the perfect fit for your stealth commando. And if you do, you're still going to be doing great. As we saw, for probably 95% of the enemies we'll face, there really isn't much of a practical difference. With that, we come to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you found it useful, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing more of these because I'm definitely looking forward to making them. For now, I'm gonna call it a day, but remember, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Till then, I'm Fisty McRib.